All right, for more on this, we're now being joined by Professor Vikas Singh, economist and author. He is joining us from Hyderabad. Thank you so much for joining us on World Business Watch.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's get right into it. With China hitting back with reciprocal tariffs, what impact do you see of this escalating trade war on the US economy and the world economy as well?
I think the US is going to pay a heavy price, definitely in the short run. I think the Trump's idea of he had a two-pronged purpose of this tariff. The initial was how does he reduce the taxes that the US citizens pay, and he believed that by increasing the tariff he'll be able to increase the revenue and thereby decrease the taxes for the citizens. I don't think it's going to play out that way, because this tariff will increase inflation, thereby hindering any ability of the Fed to reduce the interest rate. That will impact growth. And I think the US is going into a recession, at least in the definitely in the short run. Second thing, Trump wanted to bring the economy, bring the manufacturing back. I don't think that's going to happen in the short run. Let's face it, this is not the America of 1930s when high tariff rate brought in manufacturing. The world is more integrated now, and you can't just set up a manufacturing shop in about 6 months to 1 year. So that's not going to happen. The third and even more important thing is, does the US really want to go down the lane? Economies normally try to go up the value chain. I don't think the US manufacturers are interested in making footwear, garments, or items that they import from Vietnam and China. So it's going to hit the US economy hard. It's also going to create a recession for the world economy, definitely in the short run. But I think I see green shoots for India. I think if Indians administration can negotiate this well, manage this challenges well, I think India may turn out to be a winner in this tariff war.
Right, and also, in fact, I was just going to come to this next. What impact specifically do you see of Trump's tariffs on India, and which sectors, particular sectors in India, are at risk from these tariffs?
Let's look at the figures. I think India's GDP is largely internal driven. 65% of India's economy is consumer-led. So we export about 20% of the GDP. So we are not a great exporter. We are not a big exporter. To the US, we export only 4%. So overall impact of the tariff that Trump has imposed on India is not likely to be more than 0.1% of the GDP. We are not going to be really hurt in that sense. But but I see this as an opportunity, because if we look at our competitors like Vietnam, Bangladesh, China, which have been imposed a higher tariff, if we can start bringing that product into India, for example, it's easy for India to take over part of the export of garments from Bangladesh, electronics from Taiwan, from Vietnam and others. If we can do that, I think we will be better off. Also, the fact is that our big sectors, what really may hurt us is the fact that this whole noise around tariff, the uncertainty will mean that our businesses may not want to invest. And this is where the government's role is paramount. The government must provide the right kind of incentive to the manufacturers, to the businesses, and act calm and composed, and provide the right kind of incentive for the manufacturers to invest in India. But more than that, I think India must also ask a basic question. Why does a $3.5 trillion economy has an export surplus of only $45 billion? And that is because there are certain weaknesses in the economic environment that we need to correct. For example, our labor laws are still, if I can say, lives in the 19th century. Land acquisition is a big problem. The cost of capital is high. The regulatory framework does not really support organizations to become larger. It does not help the nurturing of the medium and the small enterprises, which are the real link to enhancing productivity of the larger organizations. A study done by us about 2 years ago clearly articulates that we call it the missing middle, the lack of medium enterprises which can really enhance the productivity of the exporters is critical, and that can add at least 10% productivity to these exporters, and that's missing. So India really needs to work on these economic environment to make sure that our exporters are competitive, and we should be able to win this war. Also, also the last point, him. Also, I think the person who should lead this negotiation with the Trump administration should not be an economist. It should be a diplomat. We should offer to the U.S. In addition to the economic benefit, we should offer them that India is a large market, and the U.S. should see this as a partnership where it can access the world's largest market. We should also offer to them that, look here, we run your IT services, and there's no security hassles. If China was running this IT services, there would be challenges. So these are some of the softer things that we should bring to the table when we negotiate with the Trump administration. There's no point in going the China way. There's no point in going the Canada way, and there's no point in going the European Union way of taking Trump on, because at the end of the day, when you get into a fight with a bully, when you get into a fight with a giant, the chances of you winning is low. And even if you win, I think you'll be hurt much more than you'll hurt the other guy.
All right. Well, Professor Vikas Singh, thank you so much for joining us on World Business Watch with your insights on this.
Thank you so much for having me.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.